But one of the things I've noticed when I watch a lot of reviews or watch a lot of resources on collecting is that there's this automatic privileging of the newest technology. And it's really weird, especially when it comes to movies. It's to the point now where DVDs are almost just sort of sneered at. It's really silly. And you'll have people who will do videos like, well, why I would still collect a DVD. And there has to be all these like special circumstances met. I would keep a DVD if that version was never really well translated to Blu-ray or 4K or if, whatever. And I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. I don't need the best tech specifics. Now, part of that is because I'm a story person. Look, I grew up in the rural area. We got NBC if the weather was good by antenna, and that was it. That was it. We had to rent a VCR if we wanted movies, and eventually we bought a VCR. But even then, it was you had the quality that you had, and I didn't need a crystal clear picture. And even, once technology became more prevalent and, we got, cable, and I grew up and had my own services and so forth, I don't need to watch. I'll give you an example. Stargate SG-1. I have that full collection on DVD, and it's a really great set. It's the old DVD sets where it used to be like a whole big box for one season. Now they can fit the whole series on a disc if they wanted to. But, I have those old collections, and they're DVDs. They're not videotapes. A videotape will rot and stuff like that. And I can watch those DVDs, and I'm re-experiencing the story in the exact same way that I experienced it back in the day. I mean, even before I had a flat screen TV, I was watching, Stargate SG-1 back in the day, and I loved it. And I love watching those DVDs and seeing the story with that same sort of graininess of, the old film and the DVD. I love that. I don't need to be able to count the goosebumps on Colonel O'Neill's neck to enjoy Stargate SG-1. And I see reviews of this, and there are a lot of reviews because it was recently released on Blu-ray, and it's a nice set. And I'm looking at the side-by-side comparisons, and I'm thankful to the channels that do side-by-side comparisons. That's great. I'm not criticizing anybody who does want the higher quality everything. That's great. If that's your thing, if story really isn't your thing, if the specs are your thing, if the audio, if the picture, then hey, you do you. That's great. But what I'm doing is speaking against this sort of impulse by a lot of people. I even heard one DVD collector say, or the movie collector collecting Blu-ray in HK or 4K. And he said, DVDs, they're getting to be where they're kind of like unwatchable. I'm thinking, unwatchable? Boo-hoo you and your first world problems. Unwatchable? A DVD, for crying out loud? So I would caution people, unless that's really your thing, unless your thing is the highest specs on visual and audio, whatever, unless that's what you're really interested in, and that's fine if it is, but don't let other people try to discourage you, because you can maybe just want to get into physical media and be overwhelmed. Oh, you need this kind of 4K TV, and you need these surround sounds, and then you need to go spend $80 on a 4K disc or collection or whatever. You don't need to do any of that. You start with what you have, and you enjoy what you enjoy. You can't see it on screen on YouTube, but I have a CRTV right here, an old DVD VHS combination, which I love. I play my N64 on that. I don't want a HD modded N64. I want to play it like I played it back in the day, and see the screen as I saw it back in the day. And it's not to say I would never upgrade. Like, I have the Stargate SG-1 DVD set, which I dearly love. It's enough for me. But when the Stargate SG-1 Blu-ray does come down in price a little bit, I might buy it, just because apparently Blu-rays are supposed to last a little bit longer than DVDs. And I've already had these DVDs a while. They've been with me through a lot of moves and whatnot. They still play well. There's no scratches. But, just for the sake of longevity, if it's a story or a series that I dearly love, like SG-1, yeah, I might have a nice backup that's a higher quality, something that'll last a little longer, like a Blu-ray of SG-1. Sure, I'm not saying I wouldn't get it. But I'm about to upgrade now. You have reasons for upgrade, right? I have all but two of the Underworld movies. I really like those Underworld movies. Kate Beckinsale, Kevin Grivo. I always pronounce his name wrong, but the writer, he played one of the Lycans in the first one. I met him at a con. He was talking about the writing of the movies and the idea of the movie and everything, and really liked those movies. And I've got some really nice DVD versions, collector DVD versions that I love. And I wanted to collect to finish my set to get the movies I was missing from that set. And I saw that, well, really just for a little bit more, I could get the one complete Blu-ray set of all the movies for just a little bit more than it would cost me anyway to buy these extra DVDs of the movies that I'm missing. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. Then I can sell the DVDs that I have, and that's curating my collection, right? I don't need to have 2 or 3 DVDs copies of the same movies that I have all on Blu-ray. That's okay. So I'll do that. That, if it works out like that, I can do that. But the need to upgrade, I don't own a 4K TV. I don't own any kind of elaborate speaker system. I have some good headphones. That's my good audio, but I don't have a 4K TV. I can't imagine ever buying a 4K player. Sony has not given me any reason to buy a PS5 yet. I keep waiting for them to, but they just keep putting out crap game after crap game that I'm not interested in. So I have no reason to even buy a PS5, which plays 4K DVDs. So I'm sure one day I'll probably have a 4K TV when they've gone down in price and there's 3 more advanced iterations of stories beamed into your brain by then or whatever. Yeah, maybe I'll get a 4K TV. I keep saying that. When mine dies, when my flat screen dies, or is it a plasma TV I have or LCD? I don't even know. I'm not a spec guy, right? But I do have a nice flat screen TV as well as my CRTVs and stuff. So I don't need to go upgrade. I don't need to buy. I have some 4K discs that just happened to come in a package where it was Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K. That's the good deal I got or whatever. But I just don't need the highest specification. Even when it comes to music, it's kind of interesting because, in music, you have some vinyl people who are like, oh, no, you need the vinyl. And that's not the highest technical specifications of a CD, right? But that's a little bit more accepted to be more of a vinyl preference than it is to be a DVD preference over a Blu-ray. If I was watching, again, I'll always want a DVD copy of something like Stargate SG-1 or Farscape, or I'm trying to think of some other examples. I mean, sometimes there are classic films that just were never even well translated to DVD. So if they can rush that up better, sure. But, I have DVD copies of Rear Window. I'm a big Hitchcock fan. I'm a big film noir fan, and I have a little film noir collection. I don't need them all in crystal clear Blu-ray. I mean, people watch these on scratchy films in theaters, and I remember watching these on TMC. I always get that wrong. But, watching them on the projector in my high school film class and whatnot. I don't need to be able to count the mole hairs on an actor or actress to enjoy the story. So if given the choice, once I do have a Stargate SG-1 Blu-ray set, which I'll check it out, it'll be a nice backup, but maybe I'll watch like season 10 or 9 that were actually filmed in HD. Maybe I'd try watching them in Blu-ray. But given the choice, I'm going to go to my DVD set because I like that look. I want to see it like I saw it on my TV back in the day in the late 90s, watching this series and loving it. One example I have a couple examples that I'll show to kind of wrap this up. I'm a big fan of Star Trek, the original series. That's all. I really don't care about other Star Treks. It's just the original series that I personally like. And back in the day, before Blu-rays were really the thing and all of that, they had this clamshell, you can hear it, clamshell copies of this seasons. And I've got all 3 seasons. Season 1 came in yellow, season 2 in blue, and season 3 in red. And it's this really cool, like, clamshell. You open it up like this, and then the DVDs and the cases and everything come out in this little block. And it looks sort of atomic punk, futuristic, like Star Wars back in the 60s. I like that. I think this is great. Why would I ever trade this in for a Blu-ray of Star Trek, something that aired on television, broadcast television in the 60s? I really don't need to see the original series Star Trek in high definition Blu-ray. I don't want to see every crystal clear nook of the Starship Enterprise. I want it to look like it looked in the 60s. I mean, I wasn't alive in the 60s, but like it looked when I was watching it on the Sci-Fi Channel, back in the day, reruns and such. That's the Star Trek I want, It's not like, if you're a fan of the movie's Avatar, I'm not, but if you're a fan of those movies, I can maybe see, you might want to see those as crystal clear as possible or whatever, whatever. But I don't need updates of these. This is fine. I love this design. I love the shell. I love the DVD itself. I don't care. I haven't even looked at reviews if people are saying maybe the translation from the, to the DVD wasn't good on these or whatever. Hey, I couldn't tell. I see the shows on the screen and I'm enjoying the stories and it's great. So I don't see a problem. You can still buy these. You can find them. They're not that expensive, but they still have used sellers sell them. I don't think they're manufacturing these anymore. Obviously, they've got a lot of Blu-ray and 4K editions of Star Trek now, but you can still find these old clamshell hard copy versions of Star Trek, the original series. And it's great. It looks beautiful on the shelf. They look like Star Trek. You get the, the yellow, blue, and red, like the uniforms that they had. And it's great. It's great. So that's just another example of why, of something that I'm just perfectly happy with my DVD. I have no need to upgrade. Again, if someone gave me the Blu-rays, I might keep them just for longevity's sake in case these DVDs ever scratch. But DVDs are more long lasting than people like to think. And so are CDs. Yes, it's true that, it used to be thought that they were going to last, through the nuclear bombs or whatever. And obviously they, things can happen to them. They can scratch, they can, get a little scarring here and there, or scoring and whatnot. Apparently Blu-rays are a little more resilient. So that's great, whatever. But there's still, you take care of your media and it'll take care of you. Accidents can happen, but it's not like owning a vinyl. I mean, vinyl collectors, you guys who collect vinyl, you know how careful you have to be. I mean, just the easiest thing can scratch those, and you have to carefully brush it, and you have to maintain it. And that's part of the ritual, though. Vinyl collectors like collecting vinyl, but a DVD isn't quite like that, or a CD or DVD isn't like that.